A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for keeping it Y254. We want to thank you so much for joining our breakfast crew this and every weekday right here on Y254. This is another edition of Hello Day with me, Shiko Kaitani, as I take over from Barry Moses. Color me Val, not to mention the lovely Hilda Wadidi. That SMS number is 22162. Please begin your text message with the words YM254 and don't forget to tell us where you are watching from. Now, this being a Tuesday, you know what we do. It's all about entrepreneurship and career talk. And today it's all about learning how to maximize your potential. What exactly is it that we need? What is that spark that we need to just start that change and get us onto the path of success? Well, today we discuss capacity building and just why capacity matters. And so in studio with me today, we do have author and success coach Radido Doso. He is the author of the book Why Capacity Matters. I'm actually holding it. And today on the show, we are going to be giving out 3 copies of this book. So if one of your interests is actually personal development, then I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy this particular giveaway. So please stick with us. That being said, Karibu Sana, Mr. Doso.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very unique name, I must say. All right, Doso, Karibu yet again. What exactly is capacity building?
Well, capacity building is the process of expanding or refining your capacity. It also refers to the process of adjusting or strategically placing your ability, your disciplines, or the skills you've developed to be able to maximize on resources and potential and the opportunities.
And so when we talk about that entire process, what does it actually involve when you say I'm going to, get involved in capacity building?
Well, capacity building begins with a state of being uncomfortable with the status quo.
Okay.
You have to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And this discomfort comes from 2 things: looking at the potential you have and looking at the results you're producing.
Yeah.
Because if the results you're producing does not match what you can do, then you begin to get a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be pushed to the corner when demand is placed on you. And you realize that you're beginning to get overwhelmed because you're lacking in some capacities.
Yeah.
So basically, that is the beginning. The rest is a journey, is a process.
Okay, because I'm sure someone would probably be wondering, okay, why does this even really matter? But it like you said, it has to begin with someone who has that drive and feels very uncomfortable with the current situation in their life and actually want to do better.
Absolutely. Capacity matters. I once read a statement in the Bible. I'm a reader of the Bible.
Yeah.
It says that God made all men, then some became poor and some became rich. You see? So the process of becoming is a capacity issue.
Right.
So capacity really matters. The capacities you build determine the direction that your life takes.
Yes.
It determines the results that you produce in your life.
Okay.
It determines whether you're becoming a failure or you're becoming a successful person. So success is not in how much you have, but in how much you're able to do with the potential you carry, the resources that come your way, and the opportunities that you see in your life.
Okay, so capacity building definitely linked to success, but the implementation of what you have.
Yes, in fact, if you want to know people who are serious about creating success in their lives, look at the capacities they are building and deploying, because the difference between successful people and the people who are not successful is in the capacities they build and the capacities they deploy. That is what makes the difference.
When God made man and some became poor and some became rich, what you're telling me is that we all have equal ground where we kick off from.
Absolutely.
So our background doesn't really matter?
Absolutely. At birth, we are all the same. We are all born naked, speechless, and dumb.
Okay.
But then what you do with yourself, with the capacities you build, is what differentiates you. Capacity building differentiates people.
So do you feel like people just tend to exaggerate, or we tend to make excuses because we say, oh, I didn't grow up with this, or I wasn't given this, and hence why I'm not able to do this?
I think that is the biggest problem. When you begin to give excuses, blaming the environment, blaming other things out there, and then you forget the stuff, the responsibility that is supposed to be your responsibility, then you actually miss the point. The biggest responsibility for man is to build capacity and then use those capacities to be able to tap into the resources that God has provided for us.
Okay.
Yep.
Another area that I'd like to really touch on, Doso, is, you know, the process of learning and adapting to change. Just because I'm trying to make this very practical in an everyday situation, do you feel that one of the reasons that, you know, there is no progress in terms of, you know, the way individuals go about, you know, their business or whatever, is because they refuse to just be in sync with their environment, adapting to what they've got?
Let me tell you something, Shiko.
Yeah.
Capacity, when talking about progress has everything to do with capacity. Capacity is the key to your next level. The moment you build capacity for your next level, you begin to open the doors, your next level doors.
Yeah.
Capacity is a force. When you build capacity, it pushes you from your current level to your next level. There is no way you can raise your thinking and remain the same person. It just changes you immediately.
Yeah, that can happen.
If you raise your communication skills, you begin to talk differently. So capacity is a force. Capacity is a wheel upon which you ride when you transition.
Right.
So when the wheels are fitted in you, you begin to move. And finally, capacity is a tool that you use when you get to your next level. So it's a key opening your next level door. It's a force that pushes you from your current level to your next level, or that can pull you from your current level to your next level.
Yeah.
It's a wheel upon which you ride as you transition. And you see, growth has everything to do with transitioning, moving from one level to another. And finally, capacity is a tool that you use when you get there. Because if you get there and you don't have the ability to function, the ability to operate in that area, you fall back to your current level of capacity.
Okay. Yep. What kind of goals do you think someone needs to have in mind when we talk about capacity building?
Well, I think people need to clarify what I call the big five.
Okay.
The big five. The big five. One of them is, why am I here? That's a question of purpose. You look at yourself and you ask yourself, why am I here? Why was I created?
Yeah.
The second thing is, where am I going? Is a question of destiny. Where am I going? Because all of us are becoming something. All of us will end somewhere.
Yeah.
Thirdly, is the question of, what can I do? That is the question of potential. The potential that you have within you.
Yeah.
And then fourth is, what must I do? And this is now the question of building capacity.
Right.
Because it is capacity that connects potential to results. And therefore, this brings me to the last question, which is, what will I achieve?
Yeah.
What will I achieve? So once you are able to clarify these 5 points, then you should be able to move. And then the biggest responsibility that we have as individuals in this big 5 is capacity building. Once you build capacity, potential makes sense, results make sense, purpose makes sense, and destiny is created.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So increasing our capacity. I don't know, because I believe that this seems to be a very foreign concept to quite a number of people, because they say, I mean, what is the point of capacity building? Do you really struggle trying to encourage people or get people to open their eyes in terms of how to just change their mindset? Because this is a shift. If you ask me, this all begins in the mind. Yeah.
Well, this discussion or the conversation may be new to the hearing of many people, but the principle is old. It's a very old principle. You see, capacity building is the secret, or has been the secret, of the successful people. And it's an open secret. You see, most of us have been operating in ignorance, not knowing that there's a connection between the capacities you build and the success you create. You see, they say that the kind of seed you plant determines the kind of harvest that you will experience. The kind of capacity you build determines how you experience your life. Today, you're a communicator because you went through communication capacity building process. There is a time you're not talking the way you're talking today. There is a time you're not doing things the way you're doing today.
Right.
So if you want to know where Shiko came from, we have to trace what capacity experiences or what capacity building processes she went through. So if I subject myself to the things you subjected yourself, I will produce another Shiko.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Oh no, there's one of a kind, baby. But okay, before you tell us a little bit about the book, what types of capacity building activities can one actually incorporate just to increase their potential or maximize their potential?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The biggest capacity building process that is there and that is known is the process of learning. Now, learning does not mean going to school.
Oh, FYI.
Yeah, learning does not mean going to school. In as much as going to school is part of the process, but learning happens everywhere.
Every day.
Yes, learners are the people who are actually dominating this world today.
Yeah.
You see. So the next thing is what I call strategic mentorship.
Yeah.
Strategic mentorship refers to where you connect with people who have already gone to the place where you desire to go. So they can hold your hand and show you the way.
So learning, let me say, for lack of a better term, mentorship, I suppose?
Mentorship.
Okay.
But I call it strategic mentorship.
Yes.
And then there is forming of alliances or networking. You see, the power of networking is in allowing you to be able to tap into other people's strengths in your area of weakness.
Wow.
If I connect with you and you're a better communicator than me, then when I get to a place where communication needs to be done, because I've connected with you, I will ride on your strength.
Yes.
And then if there's anything I can do better than you, when you get to a place where you need that kind of a capacity to be put to use, then you can ride on my strength.
I like it.
You understand?
I like
and then lastly is exposing yourself strategically to what I call demand. Putting yourself under strategic pressure. Because you see, when demand is placed on you, there are two things that happen. One, it exposes your strengths.
Okay.
And secondly, it exposes your weaknesses. Every demand placed on you will expose those two things.
Yes.
So when you strategically position yourself or place yourself under pressure, then you'll begin to know, you will learn more about yourself. You will see the areas that needs to be strengthened or the areas that needs to be perfected.
Yeah.
So once that happens, then you are able to know what to do. Because in life, we do well when we ride on our strengths than exposing our weaknesses.
Okay, and how else can you learn than,
placing yourself under strategic pressure?
And I like that, because just to build on what you're saying, I love watching TD Jakes, and TD Jakes actually says you don't know what you've got in you, sitting at home, watching Netflix, hitting the remote. When everything is all nice and breezy, you'll never know what you can do. But when all hell breaks loose and you've got pressure, that's when you know, by then I'm a very resourceful person. That's when you know you have a huge network of people.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's when you know, by the way, I am actually talented in something like that. So I do agree with you in terms of just a little bit of pressure, not too much, but a bit
strategic
of
pressure.
Strategic pressure. Okay, so that moment is here with us where I'm going to give Radido the opportunity to actually throw a question to you, and we're going to be asking that question in just a second, okay? So please get those fingers walking. 22162 is that SMS number if you'd like to win yourself a copy of this particular book known as Why Capacity Matters. And I don't think this is like for everyone. It's only for people who are interested in personal development, by the way, because you're just going to have this book by your bedside and it wouldn't really help you. But if you truly do want to get information that's going to help you change the way you think, the way you approach situations, then I believe that you do need to participate. So before you throw that question at us, Radido, why don't you tell us what we can find in this particular book?
In my life, this is the best book I've ever read. And I was even reading it this morning.
Yes.
Because everybody out here is struggling to find the code or the key to success.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So in this book, I talk about the connection between opportunities and capacity. I talk about the connection between creating your next level of experience or your next level of life, whether you're a business person or an individual or a corporate person. How do you create that? And how do you prepare yourself for the future? Because you see, the future we are facing is going to be, and we are beginning to experience that, it is very complex. It is very competitive, and it is changing very, very fast. One thing I know about the future is that the future is creatable and predictable. And lastly, it belongs to the people who've been preparing for it. So you can't just sit back and wait and imagine that the future will favor you. The future only favors or will favor the people who are preparing for it. Just like they have said before, that opportunities belong or you know, they belong to the people who've been preparing it, preparing for it. So in this book, I show you how to actually master the critical capacities for phenomenal success. There is a chapter in there that I call critical capacities for phenomenal success, and everybody wants to succeed. So if you think or you know you want to succeed either in life or in business or whatever thing you're trying to do, this book is for you.
I like that in chapter 4, the title actually is The Power of Ready.
Absolutely.
I like that. So you've got to be ready.
You've got to be ready. If you don't get ready, opportunities will kill you.
And what does Oprah like to say? Oprah says that success is opportunity meeting preparation.
Preparation.
Okay, so
and preparation is basically capacity building.
So you just have to know your stuff. In whatever you're doing, just know your stuff, because there could be that one day that a huge opportunity comes by, but you weren't prepared.
And you know one thing, Shiko? It is the people who are prepared who know when an opportunity appears. In fact, prepared people call opportunities opportunities. Unprepared people don't call it opportunity. They don't think it is.
Yes, because you don't notice, you don't recognize it.
Absolutely. And preparedness gives you power to create opportunities or even trigger opportunities to begin to happen. Opportunities are creatable.
You know, let me tell you, Doso, I think you're a very daring person, especially coming to this particular channel to actually talk about capacity building, and I'll tell you why. A lot of the times we actually run into young people. Of course, we talk to them, they SMS. We have, you know, all sorts of guys coming on set to talk about how young people are just crazy about finding the fast way to success. Of course, you know, top of priority is betting. Now, with that kind of mindset, what would you actually tell young people, the youth of this country, about why it's important to be strategic in everything you're doing, as opposed to spending all your time and your money trying to just get lucky? Because it's a huge thing. It's a huge thing, and you're someone who's going against the grain, and now it's like it's an uphill climb trying to teach us that.
Absolutely. It's a pity when you hear a young person talking like that. But I've also seen another constituent of people talking, and they talk bad. I see a lot of poor people cursing rich people. I don't think that's right. A poor person is a candidate for success if they learn and do what the rich do.
Oh yeah, by the way, duh.
You see, there's no need of cursing. There is no amount of cursing that will transfer wealth from a rich person into your hands. So the same thing applies to the young people. The reason why most people struggle in life is because they ignore the principles of success. Which actually are hidden within capacity building. You know, if you want to shortchange the system, it will short circuit you, and it can even kill you. You see. So the best way to succeed is to begin by building capacity for the success you want. Because if we give you success and you don't have capacity to handle success, success can kill you. I have seen so many people who looked for money, and when they got money in huge sums, that money ended up killing them because they didn't have capacity to be able to manage success. It is one thing to chase after success, and it's completely another thing to be able to handle and manage success. So young people, instead of taking shortcuts through betting can give you money. I've seen people getting a lot of money through betting. But then if it finds you without capacity, even the financial capacity to handle those resources, you end up wasting them. Because life has a way of reducing you to the level of your competence or the level of your capacity.
Wow, it's very humbling. Okay, you know, I understand we've got about 10 to 15 minutes, Doso. So I want to ask you to throw that question at our audience so they can get a chance to actually walk away with this book and get some of these fantastic concepts that you have in here. What is our question?
All right, as you've been told, I have three books to give away, and my question will come from the big five that I talked about. So if you had them and you can remember at least one of them, you share with us. Tell us the one that you picked. One of the big fives. One of the big 5 questions that every individual needs to ask themselves. All we're
asking for is just one. So if you're actually paying attention at the beginning of this particular interview, then I'm sure you do know the answer to that. And we're making it very easy because we really do want this out there, right? So 22162 is that SMS number. Please begin your text message with YM254. We'll see how fast those text messages come in. Hopefully we'll get a winner towards the end of this live broadcast. But if not, I think we'll mention our winner tomorrow on the show, if you shall allow us, Mr. Author.
No problem.
Okay. All right, so real quick, we talked about one of the things, the activities that one can do to increase their capacity. But maybe someone's actually watching and saying, by the way, you know what, Radido, I really don't know where to begin. What should I start doing? Is it researching? Is it making phone calls? Like,
one of the things you have to do is to clarify where you want to go.
I think that's a very good point.
Clarify where you want to go. Do you want to become a business person? Clarify that. Because people who are serious about where they're going, first of all, clarify where they're going, and then they begin to get themselves ready to function when they get there. You know, capacity building is about preparing yourself for functioning when you get there.
So first you've got to identify what you want with yourself.
Yeah, what you want to become.
Oh, okay.
Like for you, when you decided that you wanted to be a media presenter, you just knew that, you know, you had to know how to talk.
Yeah.
Because that is the biggest tool you use in your work.
Yeah.
So everybody must be able to clarify that. Once you have clarified that, then look within you and see what you have. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And what resources do you have around you? Are there mentors around you? Are there people around you? Are there books around you or systems around you that can be able to help you build the capacities you want? And then lastly, just build the discipline to stay on it. Because we are naturally indisciplined people. We are very indisciplined.
That's the hardest part in life.
We want to lazy around and just do, you know, just relax and do nothing. Most of us are comfortable doing that.
Yes.
Then in capacity building, you have to beat yourself up to stay disciplined on course until the habit forms.
It's so funny. Oh my God, it's like you've been in my brain for like the past 2 months. You know, I was just telling a friend that by the way, the hardest thing in life to do is be disciplined. Discipline to go to the gym, discipline to wake up at 5 in the morning to appear for this show, discipline to dress well, discipline to study. I mean, like everything is just discipline, by the way.
Discipline.
And it's the hardest thing to actually master. But that being said, how do you feel that capacity building can actually help us as a nation reach our developmental goals, Radido, as we wrap up?
Kenya is a third world nation.
Yeah.
With reasons. Kenya is a third world nation with reasons.
Yeah.
Yes. We are not third world because we lack resources. And we are not third world because we are in Africa. We are third world because we have not built competent capacities within ourselves or within our environment, within our leadership systems or our governance systems or the way we do our life. We have not built systems that have capacities that are able to tap into the resources we have or to convert the resources we have to give us high value. Now, as I say this, I know of first world citizens who live within Kenya or who live within Africa. First world citizens living within a third world country.
Right.
And I also know of third world citizens who live in first world continents or first world nations. So Kenya has been losing resources. If you check some of the latest headlines today, in fact, this week alone, you will hear stories of resources are being wasted. Resources are being lost. You know, something is happening to resources. Now, resources are not being wasted because those resources are bad. Resources are being wasted because we have not built the competence to be able to handle those resources. And if you can if you can hear what I'm saying, it is all about a capacity issue. Some of the leaders we have in place do not have the capacities to lead us to the place where we want. So we are losing resources, we are losing time, we are losing people. Kenya is suffering from, is one of the casualties for what we call brain drain. We train our people, then we lose them. And you know what? I've come to discover that resources tend to move from low competence areas to high competence areas, and it happens all the time. So when we are losing money, we're losing the people we've trained, we are losing time, and all other kind of resources, including natural resources. It affects our GDP.
Right.
GDP is about maximum utilization of resources for the benefit of the nation and the benefit of the people.
Wow.
So it's a capacity issue.
Wow. And you can see how from the grassroots all the way to the top, this is so important. Okay.